What is going on, everybody? Mugen here. Welcome to Silence the Noise podcast, where we primarily focus on men's mental health, but we really generalize mental health in general and the importance of it, seeking help, and kind of talking about what other people go through. The whole purpose of this podcast is to show that more people can relate with one another than they think. I want this podcast to be a safe space for one, but I also want it to be as raw as possible. So there's going to be very minimal editing. The only time that I'm going to edit is if for some reason someone releases some kind of information that shouldn't be let out, like an address or a place or anything that can kind of give someone else the location of this person. We don't want them to dox themselves in the video. And also, too, if there's something that was shared that was too personal that maybe they didn't mean to share but inadvertently shared anyways because they were kind of in the feels, if they decide that they want to edit that out, totally fine with doing that. But yeah, so with me today, I do have a really good friend of mine. His name is Raul. He also goes by Nani, which is his gamer. I'm going to go ahead and spin it off to him and let him kind of introduce himself and give us a little bit of background on what he does and did. What's up, man?
Hi. What's up, dude? My name is Raul. I go by Nani, like you said. I've known Mugen for 12 years, pretty much. I think we're going on 13.
Mm-hmm.
And my entire background is, so I was active duty military for 6 years in the United States Navy, and then I got out in 2019. And I've worked countless jobs as a civilian, from security to fast food, a whole lot of different things besides like realtor and construction. I've worked a lot of odd jobs, but I just gonna start off by just being open. I have I've lost two people. One when I was actively in, and one when I was out. And so when I was actively inside the military, I had a junior sailor who he came in. He knew absolutely nothing. I was helped raise him from a little boy up to a man. I helped him buy his first car. I was teaching him tools. I was teaching him life lessons that you should know as an adult, because a lot of things when you first join the military, they say, "Oh, you are an adult now. You you are fully grown. You don't need to worry about like having any parental uh,
Guidelines.
guidance
Yeah.
while you're in." Yeah. And so the junior sailor, he told me, he was like, going to this party, want to invite me. I said, I don't want to go to this party because we're about to go on deployment. And he he was like, oh no, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be with my friends. Everything's gonna be good. And I was like, I really don't want you to go to this party. I tried to like, please don't go to this party, right? Just something felt off. And but he went. He went to the party. Everything was going well. Everything was going fine. But then he got into an physical altercation with another uh gentleman. Right? They got into a fight. He won the fight. And the guy left. And on the when he was leaving, the guy came back with a gun and shot him 6 times. And
Damn.
unfortunately, he didn't survive that.
That's
He
crazy.
uh, so I got a call from my upper management saying, "Hey, unfortunately, this junior sailor is no longer here within the world of living." And I immediately went through the processes of calling his phone, texting him, like calling his close friends, like trying to, thinking it's a joke, like it's someone else. It's not him. They got the wrong person. And I went through this avenue, and I didn't look for mental health. I didn't. The only person at the time was one of our other buddies named James. We were rooming together, and I broke down, started crying. It's one of the first times ever in the history of my life I've ever cried in front of someone that's not my family. And off of the the aspect of doing that, I didn't really seek help, and I went and I started drinking alcohol, which public service announcement does not help whatsoever. It does not help drown it. It like helps surface it, and through the grace of God or whatever higher being, I had to go into AA. And me going through AA, they make you go through actually seeing a psychiatrist and a therapist to be able to talk about the problems of why you chose to drink. And off of talking to them through that, it helped not completely forget about it because grief never leaves you. It can resurface off of pretty much anything, but it helps so you can live your day to day. I do a remembrance of him every year that the date it he was taken away from Earth. But that's something that really helped me out. If it wasn't for me drinking my liver to the point that I can't even remember because me trying to forget that entire situation made me forget a lot of my childhood and a lot of things that if it was if it wasn't for the age of technology, I apologize. If it wasn't for the age of technology, I wouldn't remember half the things I did when I was younger. First time I met him, first time I met any of my buddies.
Is this
And
because of like the
it
alcohol or just like the alcohol
yes,
consumption?
yep, alcohol consumption, a lot of other substances that when I was actively in would get me kicked out in a heartbeat. Um, because I was like, alcohol's not strong enough. Let me try crack. Let me try. I didn't do heroin. I did not do heroin, but I just thought something would help. It didn't. But after going through AA and talking to a licensed therapist or psychiatrist, helped me to be able to like move forward in a sense to help me live my life. And so that one wasn't caused because of suicide. That was just caused because of one freaking idiot
Yeah.
who thought, oh, he bested me, I can best him. And but another one that I recently went through. This is like 2 weeks ago. Um, I currently right now I work as an armed security supervisor. So I am in charge of security professionals who are all armed besides a very limited group of like 10 people. And it was a weekend, it was a Saturday, and the site that I work at, we have cameras, and we have all that. He found a blind spot in our cameras, and he went to a corner of this room and he shot himself.
Wow.
And um it was through his mouth, and all ammo that we carry different calibers. We have hollow points, and I don't know if you guys, for majority of the internet, knows what a hollow point does to the body. It's a small entry wound going in, bigger exit wound. And so once I got there, because I never got told over the phone, I got a phone call saying I need to go in right now to help. And the moment I got there is when I got told that one of my security professionals took his life, and I didn't see his body, but I saw the aftermath, and he was everywhere in that room. So much blood, brain matter, scalp, hair. It was all littered throughout the wall. Um, to to just and I went down that rabbit hole again. What if I said more? What if I tried asking him about his personal life? And a lot of people don't wish to talk about the things that are problems for them because they feel as if they're going to be a burden to other people.
Or if they come off weak. They come off weak. They don't want to come off weak.
Exactly. And and unfortunately, he was married to young little girls, and I go through the, I should have seen the signs. I should have known something. you go down this rabbit hole where you don't really um like accept it. Like you really think like I could have done something different, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, um but sometimes, I say majority of the time, you couldn't have a say within it at all whatsoever. You could say hi to this person every single day. You could go out, have a couple drinks with them. You could go and like christen their first child, right? And all of a sudden they just leave this world because they have their own demons that they never wanted to address.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is help out there. There's free help, there's insurance help. If you're a veteran, you have veterans assistance, the VA. Mental health is something that's becoming drastically more and more. And a lot of social media, and I hate to say it, they try to say, oh, we become a weaker nation because we're bringing up mental health. We never did that back in my day. That's not true. We we as a society should be coming together to be able to help out these people, sh- not shun them and bring them down to the point. Like I've currently went back um, into my psychiatrist at the VA. Um,
Oh, word.
so yeah, named Brian. I like Brian.
I like Brian.
And it it helps a lot because sometimes he doesn't even say anything. I could sit there and talk about not even the incident. I could just talk about, oh, I feel so tired because I feel as if no one like gives me the gratitude that I need in life. And he would just sit there and just be like, okay. And just that alone, just like shattered
Validated.
my wall. I was like, yeah, I was like, wait a minute, did you just validate me right now?
He
Like,
says, okay,
and it's
continue.
great, yeah, and it's a complete stranger to me. I
It's
don't know
true.
this guy. I've never met this guy ever in my entire life. But me just saying that and him just sitting there and just being like,
You
all
right?
right, like, yeah, it just kind of like crumbles my walls because I'm like, oh my god, like.
You were
If
expecting him
am
to
I doing
like
something
counteract
wrong?
you? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. But no, that's why they are professionally paid. I'm not. It, it doesn't.
You're getting glitchy on me, bruh.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But like, we should be advocating, and like people should know these things because like I'm gonna throw it back over to you, Mugen. But like, I've only gone through uh no one personally within my life. My grandparents, great grandparents, they were like in their 90s and like up beyond, right? So every loved one I've lost, that I'm close to, let me say that, I have a very big family tree. They were past the age of 80.
That's
And so at that
crazy,
point I'm like,
dude.
okay,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
just like, you need
There's
to
only
go,
been
bro. Like,
yeah, yeah. Like, and they were at the point where they thought lead was like good for you. So,
damn.
you know, yeah, yeah. So there's only been one other person that I wasn't close to. He was a like third cousin. He took his own life because of AI.
Wow.
But
What?
that's an entire yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
we're gonna
haven't
get
told
into.
you this.
No, we're gonna get into that
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
Okay.
I'm
So
curious.
I will.
If you're
Okay.
comfortable with it,
So
though. If you're comfortable with it.
yeah, yeah. I'm comfortable saying it. So my one of my cousins was really into technology. He loved it, and he got one of the AI programs that like would mimic being a girlfriend or something. It's like the Google AI where they like pretend to be a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was
Is
he
it
got
just like an?
really
It's
really
just an
attached.
app. That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an app.
Okay.
It's literally like you could text them and be like,
So it's like
"Oh,
Rock. It's
how's your
like
day?" Yeah,
companions and things like
it's like
that.
but it will respond to you like,
Okay.
oh, what do you wish to do? Oh, I would love to go like walking on the beach, and then like you go walking on the beach, and it's like it was supposed to help encourage people to do things, but he became really, really attached to it.
Wow.
To the point where he wouldn't look at women inside the real world. Like he would only be attached to the AI. And so, unfortunately, what happened when he realized this can't be a real human, I can't have human interactions, he took his life because he was like, I can't have this perfect being.
That's crazy,
Thus,
dude.
yeah. So technology can also be a very, very bad thing. That he was young too. He was 14 years old, like
What?
barely an adult. Yeah, he was young.
Dude, I
Yeah,
was
he was
thinking like you were
young.
gonna tell me he was like our age, like 30s, 20s,
No,
maybe 14, and he took
no.
his life.
Yeah.
How did
Because
he? If you don't mind me asking, like how did he take his life?
oh he hung himself.
Man,
hmm Missed a day of school. Just stayed home. Nobody was home. Mom and dad came home, and there he was.
could you imagine as a
Um.
parent like coming home to seeing something like that? Like me, I've got two
Oh.
kids, dude, and I just can't. Like that is probably one of the most difficult things that like anybody can go through. Like, dude, oh my
Especially if it's
gosh,
your
man,
own
that's
flesh and
crazy.
blood. Like, I yeah, no. And so, but that's that's so you have two avenues. Like you have someone who's fighting their inner demons because of like I based off of something that's going on in their family, something that's going on with their friends, something that's like financially
Yeah,
that seems to be a very big
that
one.
is a
Like people
huge
who
one.
are going through financial troubles, they're just like, you know what, my life insurance can take care of my family, and
Yo, a lot of people see that as like an out. Like, yeah, that dude, 100
exactly,
grand if I just out myself on accident. Whoops.
yeah,
Like, dude, it's
like
crazy. And then some of the women too that are like they'll
true,
like kill someone over that
yes,
insurance money. Like that's wild to think about.
or or women when they're single parents, they go, I can't take care of this kid anymore. Well, the only way I can have it where I don't they won't come back to me, just
Yep.
off themselves,
Yeah, man, that's
because
so unhealthy.
they exactly, and it's because of the fact of no one talks about the mental health. Everyone, like I said, they try to castrate everyone. Oh, if you have mental health problems, you're just a weak individual. You don't, you never been through hardships. You don't know what it means, like going through like Vietnam. Like,
Bro,
okay, like,
that's one thing that always bothers me is I don't like those well, I don't really like when people say that, you know, essentially like not validating your feelings. Like everybody has to go through the same problem in order for it to be like an actual problem.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like everybody has their
exactly.
own level of issues. For me, so for those of you that hadn't seen the intro video on my Instagram or X or Facebook, um, I had lost my dad to cancer. He was 49 years old. You know, I've lost my father-in-law of a heart attack a few months after that. My uncle got shot in the neck and passed away from that. We've got my brother who died of a car accident. A month later, my cousin died of a heart attack, and then just about a week ago, I lost my grandmother, which probably is the only justifiable death out of the 6, 7 people that I lost. And that's just because like she was in her 80s, and you know she already had, you know, some mild health issues. And then my father-in-law was 67. I can kind of justify that, but that's to me 67 is still kind of young. Um, but
Mm,
but it's hard to deal with such a crazy amount of loss within such a short period of time, because it's like once you think that you're over one, something else happens, and then you get over that or start to get over that, and then something else happens, and it's just like, damn, like what's next, like what's gonna happen. And you know, for a little while I didn't seek help. I would say probably like a year and a half after, you know, my dad passed away, it wasn't really until like my brother passed away that I actually started seeking help, which was probably about 2 years after my dad passed.
Yep.
And I did see a therapist, and I did see a psychiatrist. So my psychiatrist, when I went there, it was sad, man, because it's for those of you that don't know, I don't like to take medication. Medication to me, I just feel is like a cop out. Like, help me find something or an outlet that I can like divert this energy to. And it wasn't like that at all. Like, I sat down, I literally bawled my eyes out talking about the death of like people that were close to me. And within 5 minutes of being there, she had written me a prescription for like 2 medications and said, here you go. We have a pharmacy right here and it'll be done for you in like 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you don't give a shit at all. Like, that's what it felt like to me. So then I ended up seeing a therapist, and the therapist was okay, like the first, maybe second time that I saw them, but then after that, it was very weird. Like, they didn't really seem engaged. It was just me talking, and maybe that was wise because I did a majority of the talking, but it just didn't really feel like they cared. So I stopped. Now, fast forward, a couple of years later, just a few weeks ago, my grandmother died. So that kind of like opened up some pretty fresh wounds that were already there. And it caused me to like, I started to keep my daughter home from school, which is starting to, create an issue with her school. And I'm honestly really trying really hard to avoid that, but it's not. In my video, I say that I don't keep her home because she's fragile. I keep her home because I'm fragile. It just like her being here provides me that sense of comfort that I'm going to be okay. And I don't really know why, because she's 11. So it's not like she can protect me if something happens. But I mean, I think what it is it's just the comfort of her being there, and then the comfort of knowing, because my kids are very protective. Yeah, like my kids are very protective, even over me and their mom. So it's like if they see something, they're gonna immediately jump on to like helping us. So I guess that's probably the reason why I do it. But dude, since all of that stuff, like I ended up seeing a primary care physician recently. I told them about the issue. They prescribed me a prescription to kind of help with the anxiety. I hadn't taken it. I'm glad I didn't, because my psychiatrist that I met with a couple days ago told me not to take it, to try something else. And I've met with my psychiatrist twice, and then I also have my first visit with my therapist coming up soon. So I'm honestly really excited about that. But one thing that I noticed was I have a lot of deeper rooted issues than just the recent things that I've gone through with death. And one thing that I'll share with you that I think is it's funny, but it's not funny, because it's just what it's relative to. But
we laugh at the pain to try to mask it.
Yeah. So I mean, for those of you that don't know who Steve Burns is, Steve Burns is the original host of Blue's Clues, and I follow his podcast and
Striped Brain.
Yeah, I follow his podcast and him on Instagram, and he's always been like a really cool dude, and he'll post videos like, hey man, like, or hey, how are you? Yeah, what's going on today? And then he'll just like sit there quiet, sipping on his tea, and he's like, oh yeah, like it's just like, I don't know, man, it's just like it provides that comfort. But a couple of years ago, I had stumbled across this video of him dressed up in his Blue's Clues outfit, and making an apology to us. Like, damn, I about knocked over my mic. Apologies to us.
I'm down there.
He made an apology to us for leaving so abruptly. So for those of you that don't know, there was an episode where Steve goes to college, and he kind of does like a one last Blue's Clues thing, and then he he passes the show off to Joe and kind of just dips. You know, he says one thing to the camera at the very end, and he says, "Thanks again for your help," and then leaves. So he made an apology video.
Walks out the door.
He does. He does. He has bags and everything, like ready to go.
Yeah, he doesn't wave goodbye. He
No.
just kind of thanks for the help, and then just kind of grabs his
Dips.
bags and says, "All right, Blue, be good."
Yep.
Dips out.
And it's funny because like when I mentioned this video to my wife Crystal, and it was funny because I wasn't thinking that it would affect me as much as it did, but like when I showed her the apology video and I started reliving certain things like as a kid, it made me emotional. Like I almost started to cry, and then she asked me too. She goes, "Do you feel that like you watched that show because it gave you attention?" Just because I told her about how Steve was like, he was very involved with his audience and the kids. Like, he's like, "Do you see Blue's Clues?" It's almost like Dora, like, you know what I mean? But it was person.
Way better.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
But so I told her, I was like, "Yeah, man," I said, I fought for attention nearly my whole life. You know, like I didn't get to see my mom because she worked all the time, which by no means am I like bitching or saying that my parents were bad.
Yeah.
You know, like I love my parents and they did great. It was just a situational thing that I was raised in. But my mom was always working. My dad was always working amongst doing other things. And then I pretty much lived with my grandmother. And the only attention that I really got was bad attention because, bro, I know you lived in a Spanish household, bro. And you know how Spanish people are, bro. We get our ass beat with anything and everything. So
they would like whip around the corner, like wanted.
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
Hunt you down.
1000%. Yes.
So, I mean, I started, after I started, you know, some of these realizations, you know, I brought it into my psychiatry appointment, and I actually told this to my psychiatrist. Like, I was like, "Dude," I said, "I know this sounds really stupid, but this Blue's Clues thing really it really got me." So he told me, and I said, "I think this is where, like, you know, I have deeper rooted separation issues, and I'm craving that attention." And sadly, unfortunately, like, my wife right now, she works for a company that's a kind of like a startup company. So she works these crazy long hours, sometimes like 7 to 11, you know, and it's just, it's difficult to get that attention from her. So, but now that she's getting a little bit more help, it's kind of slowing down a little bit, but it does kind of put a wedge in between her and I because of the time we don't get to spend. But yeah, so everybody's going through their own stuff. I know
there's a saying, you can throw a stone and hit someone and they understand what you're going through.
No, yeah. Damn.
Like,
that's good.
You literally can chuck a stone. I do have to say also, sorry to cut you off. Something my psychiatrist has said, and I'm pretty sure a lot have also said, find an activity that gets you out of your, like, if your room or your house, like something that motivates you to like go. Like for me, it's the gym. If you like, I don't know, writing poetry, reading a book outside, going for a jog, a walk, climbing a mountain. It doesn't have to be something that you have to spend monetary value on, money. You don't have to spend money on. It could legitimately just go into a Starbucks, sitting in there, people watching, reading a book, like something, because there's always someone who's going through something the same as you, worse than you, or is doing better than you. And so you can kind of see those different avenues and know that there's always going to be someone else, and there's always going to be help available to assist you with that.
Yeah, that's probably going to be like the most important thing is really getting to talk about it. So truthfully, like, I don't know about you, but I mean, based off of our history of friendship, you know, there's things that I mean that I know that you have like cooking inside of you, but you don't ever want to share it. And truthfully, like, honestly, I didn't even know. I mean, aside from the security guard, I knew vaguely like what happened. I didn't know in detail, but I mean, I didn't even know about the the sailor, like
Junior sailor.
yeah, that's really sad. So I mean, carrying that weight and not talking about it, I'm sure that, you know, it can definitely get to you. So if there's anything that I can
Oh
really
yeah.
recommend, it's guys, like, don't be afraid to talk about your feelings. Like, it's okay to not be okay. Like me, I'm currently not okay, which is honestly why I'm doing this. I mentioned to my psychiatrist, I said, I already did a podcast. Like, I've already got all the social media, I've already got all this, you know, and I said, I want to help people. I said, even if I just help one person. And he lit up, dude, like a Christmas tree. Like, he was just so happy for me, and he just kept telling me how happy he was for me. So I'm hoping that this becomes an outlet for someone else other than just me. I do plan on having some other people on this to talk to. But guys, there's always help, you know. And with me, just so you guys know, I use plushcare.com. I use Talkiatry. For those of you that obviously are not familiar with the suicide hotline, you can text 988 or call 988, and even go to their website if you need to talk to somebody. Please don't make a permanent choice for a temporary solution.
Yes.
That is so hard, man. So be sure that you guys are getting that help.
Because even though you think you're alone, you will still affect somebody else.
Yeah. Yep.
It is also a good helpline to help you out is if you're currently employed with any job, there's a thing called Employee Assistance Program, EAP for short. They will have a phone number based on the different states, and it's a 24/7 chat hotline that you can talk about any of the stresses that are going on throughout work, but also for the fact of the matter is, um, it's 100% confidential. Everything you say to that person will not get relayed back to your business. It will stay between you and whoever you're on the phone with. So reach out, ask your boss, like, hey, I heard about an employee assistance program. Can I please have a phone number for that? Because they can help you out too. Um, I mean, it would be. I'm not gonna lie. The EAP is very basic. I would definitely like go through like different trained psychologists, but these are EAPs like a short term to help you out.
Right.
They're mostly trying to get you back into the workforce, so they're not going to like personally sit down and like understand. They're just like, well, can you go back to work? Well, can you go back to work? But just having someone listen to you to know that they're not going to tell other people, 1000%. I used it for my most recent incident, but I've also gone back to my psychologist because
Brian.
I need it.
Brian. I love Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, guys, I mean,
I don't even know Brian's last name. I like first names more, so
yeah.
I'm out of the military.
So I mean, it's always really important to try and seek that help, guys. And honestly, like the whole point of this podcast is to try and just help one person at a time, and that's honestly that's my goal here. So if you guys know anybody that is going through some stuff and you want to share this video or share another video that we will make in the future, please share it.
Please.
If you know somebody that would like to be on the podcast and would like to just share their story, and we can kind of talk and kind of see what their thought process is. Sometimes you just need to listen, or someone just needs to listen. So don't hesitate. Please message me on the Instagram. I've got Instagram, X, Facebook. I do have TikTok, but I'm not really primarily on that. Just the other three. But please leave any requests there, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. There's quite a few people that actually want to be on this, so it might take some time, but I will definitely get to them. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you stuck around for this whole video, I really appreciate it. And I hope that this allowed to allowed you to kind of open up a door and feel some sense of comfort to know that other people are kind of going through the same thing and that it's okay to be vulnerable. But yeah, I mean, I personally don't have anything else. You got anything else you want to share before we call it?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
This dude getting saucy over here.
Joke to mass paid.
That's
but no, I just I cannot stamp this point more than enough. You think you're by yourself, but you taking that second to say no one would care will affect way more people than you could ever imagine.
Yep, definitely. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you again for sticking around. Please let us know if there was something that you like or didn't like about the video. I know that I did say that this is going to be a raw, unfiltered version of, I guess it's kind of like a therapy session, but hope you guys enjoyed the first episode.
We're not trained or paid.
No, we're not. We're not trained or paid. We're just people talking. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask, please feel free. I would really like your opinions on this first episode, and hopefully this will help somebody else. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and we will catch you in the next episode. Thank you.